Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Let's see. It looks like I am live. All right. Also on Instagram. Cool. Okay. All right. Good morning, grant lovers. This is my new morning live show, and I will wait for some people to join in just a second. I know it's early in the morning, and some of you might be watching this as a recording later on, which is fine because, you know, even these recordings are a lot of fun and of great use to people. So I'm just going to, yes, check on Montessori Institute Prague. We are live on MIPS Facebook page. We are also live on my Instagram, and there are 2 people watching. Hello, or 3, 4, wonderful. Well, why don't you say hello and put in chat where you are joining from? It will be so lovely to actually see who's joining and where you are from. My name is Mirka. I am broadcasting this from Montessori Institute Prague. And what am I doing? What is this Good Morning Grant Lovers live morning show? I am going to do this every working day, starting today and ending February 14th. Now, there is, make no mistake, it's not a coincidence that I'm going to do this before every working day and end on St. Valentine's Day, because yes, this is a show in which I am going to share with you about my love for grants. Why am I in love with grants so much? What are grants and why are they so amazing? And why am I sharing with the whole world? I will share with you, how you can get grants, where you can get grants, how can grants help Montessori projects. And the purpose of the show is to give you these 2 weeks to actually fall in love with grants as well. So I'm going to share, very practical things. From my own experience, from my own practice, I will have some guests. I will also have my colleague Plummy join me because she is also a grant writer, and you're going to learn a lot, and it's a free show, and you can come here either every day at 9 a.m. Central European time to be with me and listen to me while you're having your morning coffee, or you can watch this in a recording on Montessori Institute Prague's Facebook page or on my Instagram page as well. So I see that there are lots of people joining on Instagram. I would like for you to say hello in chat and tell me where you are joining from. I see Indre, I see Vierka, I see Monia. So nice to see you, everybody. So please say hello in chat and tell me where you are joining from, okay? I'm interested to see where you are coming from to this show. And I see, oh, yay, look, somebody's joining from Zambia. And I see my colleague Michal from Czechia. I know Plum is watching as well. And Vierka is in Slovakia. Indre is in Lithuania. It's nice to hear from you in chat. So if you can, put a note in chat where you are joining from. And let's dive into the topic of grants in just a second. Yay, Indre, hello to Lithuania. And actually, Indre is going to be one of my guests because she has applied for grant money. And from Romania, hello, Julia, to Romania. Indre studied in our grant writing course, and she applied for a grant, and she raised over 100,000 euros in grants. So there's a big story why grants are so important for Montessori projects. So why don't we, and hello to Slovenia, Mojka, wonderful. Hello to Plummy, lovely city of Prague. So let's dive into grants. I will repeat for those of you who just joined that I will do this starting today until February 14th, which is St. Valentine's Day. Every working day, 9 a.m. This is a Good Morning Grant Lovers live show, and the purpose of the show is to share about my love for grants and why are they so important for our Montessori work. And maybe I will start right there because that's the sole purpose, that's the why of this show. So I will just say a few words about myself in case somebody who doesn't know me and our work is going to watch this later or is watching now. So my name is Mirka. I live in Prague, which is in Czechia. We say that Prague and Montessori Institute Prague are at the heart of Europe, which if you look at a map, you will see that Czechia is right there in the middle at the heart of Europe. And I founded a Montessori school some years ago. And alongside with the school, I founded and I run a teacher training institute, an AMI teacher training institute. Now, just a word about AMI, in case you don't know what AMI is. So AMI is an abbreviation, and it stands for Association Montessori International. And maybe I can ask Plummy to put in chat links as I talk, because you might want to have, if you don't know what AMI is, you might want to check it out. So Plum is listening to me, and I'm sure she's going to put a link for AMI into chat. Well, anyway, going back to our story. So we are an AMI teacher training institute. This means that whoever trains with us, whether they are a teacher or a school leader or an assistant, they get a certificate from Montessori Institute Prague as well as from Association Montessori International, which is a globally recognized teacher training organization, which was founded by Dr. Maria Montessori herself. And you can see that picture behind me, and I'm sure you know it's there on purpose. Okay, so a school in Prague and a teacher training institute. And I've been doing this work for over close to 20 years. And I started it when my first child was born. Now, my son, his name is Christoph. The oldest one is going to be 20 in June. So it's going to be now exactly 20 years I've been in this line of work. And as many of you, I am sure that you also, I came across Montessori because I was a mother and I was looking for a way to raise my kid. And I was looking around and I came across Montessori and I fell in love immediately. And I decided, I thought, I knew right back then that this is what I want for my boy. And I studied and I went to all kinds of seminars, workshops, and then I came across AMI and I thought, this is it. I want to bring this knowledge and this wisdom to the Czech Republic. And that's how my story started. Now, what's important and how it connects to grants is that I was a mom. I had a newborn in my arms. I was a young mother. I had a husband, and I did not have any money to start a school. And I did not have any money to start a training center. And I do remember that people told me, oh, but you first have to get trained, and then you're going to have to buy all these expensive materials. And to start a school is just like such a big job. And people told me a lot of discouraging things. But there was one thing I knew I wanted, and they said, one thing they said, plus it's going to cost you a lot of money, plus it's going to take a long time. And I did not like that. I don't like when people tell me something's going to take a long time. I want things right away. So I said, no, I'm just going to go ahead and start. And I will start with what I know I can do. And I started a little parent and child program. We were a group of moms and we would meet and we would do little activities with our kids. And we did this literally in my living room and in somebody else's living room. We didn't have any place for the start or any Montessori materials. We just wanted to support each other. So that's how it all started. And again, back to the issue that I didn't have any money. And I was thinking, well, if I want to rent a space somewhere, and if we want to turn this into an official parent and child program, I will need to get some money to do this because I didn't want people to pay high fees. I wanted this to be accessible. And somebody said, why don't you check out if you can get some grants? And I thought, what are grants? I didn't know what are grants. And it sounded scary and institutional and discouraging. But I did go and I checked out. There was a grant available for services which help young families to raise children from the Ministry of Social Affairs. And I thought, why not try? I'm just going to go ahead and try and see if this works out. The worst case scenario is that we apply for the grant and we don't get the money. And we did apply. I did apply. I wrote the application. I had to learn a lot because it was, this big form, and it had to be filled out on a computer, and you had to create a budget, and you had to come up with activities. And I had no idea what I was doing, but I just followed the instructions and I tried. And, you can guess what happened. We got the money. And it was a very little grant. It was, I think, 2,000 euros for 1 year. But it was the first sign that we can do this. We do have activities. We are helping parents. We do something meaningful, and there's somebody who wants to give money for that, and they agree that what we do is, they gave us the money. They agree that what we do is helpful. So that was encouraging. It was the first small step, and I decided, okay, let's do this again next year. And in the meantime, we will develop this project and serve parents, learn, gather some experience. And then when we apply again next year, we can write a bigger application and see if we get more money. And we did this, and we did get more money next year. And in fact, this was in 2006. And this grant money is still open and ongoing, and they still give money to nonprofit organizations which serve young families. And we still, our school and our family center, we still apply for this money, and we still get it every year. So imagine it's going to be 20 years that we are drawing on this grant funding, and it still works every year. And it's wonderful. So grants are amazing, and grant money will help you to develop your Montessori projects if you learn how to apply, okay? And I will tell you more. There's so much I can share about grants and how much money. I will share how much money we have raised over time, because we have raised a lot. So I will share all of these things, how much we raised and how we did it, and what are the types of activities that you can get money for. We will have 10 mornings, and I will tell you the whole story. But for now, I want to talk a little bit about what a grant is, because I assume that we might have somebody here who actually doesn't know. They may have never heard about grants. So I want to tell you a little bit about that, and just very, introductory information, but to encourage you. So to get a grant or to apply for a grant, it means that you are applying with somebody, with an organization or with an institution, and you're asking them to give you money for some project that you want to do. And you would generally apply for a grant if you are doing something which is helpful to the society, to other people, to planet Earth. There are different types of grants and different types of grant funders. I'll talk a little bit about the grant funders in just a second too. But for what is a grant? Okay, so grant means money. It means money that somebody gives to you so that you can do the service that you are offering. So many of you who are listening here I'm sure you are from Montessori schools. You might be wanting to start a school. You might be wanting to start a parent and child program. And in fact, I will ask you to share with me. Why don't you go ahead and share with me in chat? What is the project you are working on right now? And are you thinking that you might want to apply for some grants? Okay, so are you interested in grant money? First, yes or no? That's a yes or no question. Just go ahead and put it in chat, please. I want to see some answers. And I see the Montessori Mama joined us, and I see Madara. Hi, Madarko, it's so nice to see you. So why don't you go ahead and put in chat, are you interested in grant money? And what is the project you are working on? And all you need to do is type down, in comments. When I say chat, it's a little bit misleading. I mean in comments. So I know Moika knows how to put in comments because she replied, and Plummy. So let's see. Are you? Yes. Okay, great. Thank you, Moika. When you respond to me like this, then I know things are working. Otherwise, it's a bit, I think I'm talking to myself, but when you reply to me in chat, that's really nice. So yes, and Julia says, yes, wonderful. Yes, you are interested. That's wonderful. And what are your projects? What are you working on? I know Moika is starting a school. and it's in Slovenia, if I am correct. So what would you like to get grant money for? Please put it in chat for me or in comments. What would you like to get grant money for? Okay. What do you, and okay, working on an adolescent program. Great. Yes. I will tell you. So one of the sessions this week, I will share about how we used grant money for building our adolescent program here in the Czech Republic. Okay, so you just come if you want to come every morning, or if you want to watch the recording, I will share. This will be a special one show on just how we build our adolescent program with grant money. Yes. So grant money, okay? Now you must be wondering, if you never heard about grants and grant money, you must be wondering why on earth would somebody give money to somebody else, right? For nothing. So I want to make very clear that getting grant money isn't getting it for nothing. It's not that somebody's giving you free money, although we sometimes speak about it as free money, but a grant funder would give you money if you write a project with activities which are helping the world in a way in which the grant funder wants to help. Okay, so there are different types of grant funders, and they can be institutions, they can be ministries of social affairs, it could be the European Union, but it also could be corporations and foundations and some of those corporations and foundations help on a local basis and some help on a global basis. So for example, Melanie and Bill Gates Foundation helps in the United States. There was just recently Jeff Bezos Foundation gave money for education, and there are all kinds of different foundations and corporations that give money. I will also share in one of the sessions a little overview of what are their names and where are their websites and stuff like this. So you can, if you come next time, you can also find out about this. But the purpose, what I'm trying to say, the most basic information right now is that, for example, let's say that Jeff Bezos Foundation is focused on developing education, and they want to do it by supporting primary programs, kindergartens in the United States. Okay, so if you are a service which is wanting to start or develop a kindergarten, or if you already have a kindergarten and you're in the United States, you would be eligible. This means you can apply with Jeff Bezos Foundation for grant money. You could go to, like we did, to the Ministry of Social Affairs for money. If they decide they want to support young families, and I am running a family center, then I can go and say, okay, we'll do this job for you. Please give us money. So basically what you're doing with your activities is you're helping those grant funders to achieve their mission. So each grant funder has a mission, and they give this money to small organizations to help them achieve their mission. And why they do it? Well, because Jeff Bezos Foundation cannot run Montessori or kindergartens all over the United States. They're one office, one group of people, they have lots of money, but they don't have the capacity to go, and they don't even want to go and do kindergartens. Their mission is to support somebody else to do this work. So then they are going to announce what is called a grant call. They're going to say, we have this amount of money, we're giving it for the purpose of development of kindergarten education in the United States, and you can apply with us if this is your mission. So it's a combination of it's a relationship between the organization that provides the service and the organization giving the money. Okay, so when you want to be successful in grant writing and getting grant money for your projects, you need to learn how to find the right grant funders and then how to write the grant application. And that's what I had learned over these 20 years of experience. And I share this with people, and I think maybe sometimes people don't believe me, but I actually, since that year 2006, raised 2.3 million euros in grant funding. Now, this is a huge number, right? 2.3 million euros is a lot. And I just want to say it was over a period of 20 years or so, and for all kinds of different projects. Okay, so we got money to start the parent and child program. Then I also raised a grant or won a grant to buy materials for our kindergarten when we were starting our kindergarten. And then all kinds of different grants. We built an adolescent program with the money from a grant. We got the biggest grant we ever got, and I will also share about that, was to build a network of Montessori schools in the Czech Republic. So we had a 3-year project, and I will share a little bit more about that because that's a great case study, what we did through that money and who paid for it, to create a network of authentic Montessori schools in my country. And we just are finishing now a project to help building Montessori bilingual programs that was also paid for with grant money. So I can see Moika says, yes, for the start, to observe in preschools and schools around Europe and for job shadowing. Yes, Moika, that's exactly what I would recommend to you to do. If you asked me what to apply for when you're starting a school, I would say go ahead and get money to be able to travel to other places, to schools that already are built, that have experience, and go there and just observe and talk to the people, ask them how they did it, what were their hardships and challenges, how they overcame them, to learn from their practice. So Moika, that's exactly, and there's definitely money available. One of the reasons why I'm sharing, why I decided to do this Grant Lovers show now in February is because spring is coming, and spring is a time when grant calls are announced. So we are now headed into a season of many grant calls coming out and being signed out and being announced. And this is the time when you have the opportunity to look for a grant funder which might want to give you money for what you want to achieve, and apply, write a grant application and apply. So before the spring comes, February is exactly the month to start looking around and kind of figuring out. So that's why I decided. And you can imagine I am in love with grants since we built, we literally built our school and the training institute with grant money, and we wouldn't have achieved what we have achieved if it was not for grants. So I am very much in love with grants. And when I look at the global Montessori community, and I ask people and I say, do you know how to apply for grants? And do you get grant money to help you develop or grow your work? People say, no, what are grants? And I'm like, oh, I can't believe, you don't know what are grants. You are in an educational line of work. Everybody in the Montessori global community needs to figure out what are grants, who is their grant funder, and they need to start applying for money. We continue to complain about accessibility of Montessori. We say, it's expensive to train people, it's expensive to equip a school. And yes, it is. And then you have to charge high fees, and you can't reach children and parents who can't pay for your service. Now, if accessibility is one of your values for your school, you need to start applying for grants. Okay, you need to learn how to get money in a different way than through fees for school or for your services, and that other way is definitely grant money. And then what you do is you combine. You still charge fees, but you can charge less, and you have a grant or several grants, ongoing grants. Once you learn how to do this, you can do it for the rest of your life. And you can see, we at Montessori Institute Prague, yay, we need grants for our 12 to 18 program in Germany, says Paula. And yes, Paula, I'm so happy to do this. Once somebody said to me, so what is the topic? If we wake you up in the middle of the night, what is the topic that you can talk about for 2 hours? And I said, grants. And then I thought, okay, well, why don't I use this? Because I don't need to, prepare a lecture ahead of time. I can talk about grants. 10 times in the morning for half an hour and share with you my passion. And hopefully, the purpose of this show is to get you, what's the word? It's like a virus, but a good virus. My passion spreads through the screen to you, and you kind of catch this. Oh, you fall in love with grants. February is the month of love. Love is in the air, and I love grants, and I want to share my passion for grants. I want to get you really interested, and I really want you to come again tomorrow and listen to another session on grants. So let's see. I have a few notes of what I wanted to say, and then what I wanted to share tomorrow. So I did explain what is grant. What is a grant? Grant money that somebody gives you to do your work, to do your good work for the society, for children, for other people, for the elderly. You can be, working to save the planet. There are grants for environmental projects. There are grants for financial literacy projects. There are grants to empower women to return to the job market after they been on a maternity leave. There are grants helping people who work with children with special needs. There are grants for everything, literally everything. Okay. And when people tell me, oh, but we can't apply for grants, then I say, why? You can. Everybody can apply for grants. And this is going to be one of the topics maybe tomorrow. Who can apply for grants, and can you apply for grants? Are you ready to apply for grants? And we'll talk about that tomorrow. So I did share what are grants. I did share who gives grants, that there are tons and tons of grant funders, corporations, institutions, ministries, chambers of commerces, and even just plain companies giving grant money for good purposes. And you just need to find the right grant funder or grant funders with whom you can apply. Okay, so there are literally billions and billions of euros and dollars given every year in grant money. One of the biggest funders is, of course, European Union. Now we are in Europe. I know there are people who are not in Europe who are here, but there are the same types of institutions are in Africa, are in Asia, are in the United States. Okay, so the UNESCO gives money. I can't think of it, but I will have a session on these specific grant funders who give money to education. So let's hold on to that. So what are grants? Who gives grants? Why are grants important? And maybe I'll again speak more about it tomorrow. But today, just to wrap up, why are grants important? I did talk about it. They will help you to do your work. If you learn how to apply for grants and you make grants part of your financial strategy, your organization is going to become much more sustainable financially. So you don't have to have always present stress whether you raise enough in fees when you know that you have a grant coming every year or more grants than just one. So this is called multi-source funding, and again, this is one of my passions. We've always multi-sourced our funding, and that's why we are so successful, and that's why we've built what we've built in only so many years here in Prague, because we had this multi-source funding available to us all this time, grants plus money from fees. So they are important. They help you with your mission. They help you develop and grow. You can get people trained with grant money. You can buy equipment with grant money. You can provide activities with grant money. You can serve your community. Anything you can think of can be done with grants. You just need to figure out the right grant funder, the right way to say it, the right way to create your project and to apply. I did share my story and how much we have raised with grants. I will actually show you some of those grants and some of those amounts in one of the sessions, because I think it must be crazy to hear that somebody was able to raise 2.3 million euros in grants. And I'm thinking, do people even believe me when I say this? So I actually have a list of all the grants that we have applied for and a little table, and down there is a summary of the amount, so I can prove it to you that that's what we did. So I will also share that. And what can grants pay for? I already shared that. Yes. How about, yes, I think that's pretty much for today. So if you want to listen more about grants, and we are running out of time, I promised half an hour. Let me just check chat. So yes, Paula says that we need money to develop their adolescent program. I have experience with this, Paula. I will share about our adolescent project. We had a project which was called Montessori Adolescent Project Inspirations. We got 330,000 euros for this, and it helped us. It literally helped us build our adolescent program. So I will share with you about that. Okay. And let's see, for the start, yes, Moika wants to do some travels. So Moika will be looking for partners in Europe, I assume, for the upcoming Erasmus project. I would say that, from what I see. And also, yes, and Amanda says we also need grant for our 12 to 18 program in Portugal. Yes, definitely. Portugal is one of the countries that you can also reach. Okay, and let's say, I would really like to sustain my project. It's in Arad, my hometown. They are the only Montessori center for 6 to 12 years old. Julia, just keep coming. Okay, I will talk more about where to look for grant money. Maybe this could be a good topic tomorrow, where to look for grant money. Where to look for grant money. This could be a good topic tomorrow. In Romania, yes. And also German, English, definitely language development. Building, bilingual and multilingual programs is definitely a hot topic. Theater and personal development, art, self-expression, well-being, those are all types of grants that you can definitely reach for and apply for, working on an adolescent program. Okay, so I want to talk more, but I think I'm going to finish now because I'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. So why don't you, and you would like, somebody says here, Francesca, okay, let's see. I would love to hear about the organizations that give educational grants for Africa. I will, Francesca, I will share about this tomorrow, okay? I did actually do some research on that, so I can share some names and some websites tomorrow. And Plummy will be with me, so we'll share links for organizations as I talk about them. And I do want to show you that there are grants available literally for every continent, okay? And so hopefully this was, I hope that this was exciting and inspiring, and that I shared a teeny little bit of my love for grants and why I'm so excited about it, because I am convinced that grants can help us as Montessori movement grow so much faster and in such a more sustainable way. And all you need to do is learn how to apply and find the right grant funder, okay? And you can do this. I did it. I'm not I wasn't born a grant writer. I learned how to be a grant writer, and actually it's a lot of fun writing grants. It's like writing stories in a way, and it's thinking about your project from the big perspective and telling the story, sharing your values, and you love doing that anyway. So why not just use that skill that you already have and start applying for grants? So good morning, grant lovers, grant writers. Good morning to you. This is the end of today's session. This recording will stay on Montessori Institute Prague's Facebook page and on my Instagram account. I will actually download it. I'll also put it on YouTube. Do come tomorrow at 9 o'clock again for half an hour with me if you like the topic of grants. And I wish you a lovely day, and good morning, grant lovers, grant writers. See you tomorrow. Bye. And if you have any questions about grants, you can put it in comments under this video, okay? I will be reading comments all day, and I can take some of your questions and make them as part of tomorrow or the day after that, if you leave some questions. So whatever is in your head, like Francesca said, I would love to hear about organizations that give educational grants in Africa. I will definitely answer that question for Francesca. So why don't you go ahead and put some questions in chat if you also want to find out something specific, okay? This is meant to be very practical and very helpful. These are not theory lectures. This is about practice, my practice and our practice with grants. Yay! And ladies from affiliated Armenian Montessori Association, I am so happy you joined, and I hope you come tomorrow again, okay? We have a Facebook group. Yes, Plummy, thank you. That's right. You can join Grants for Montessori Facebook group, And in fact, we should try to stream in there tomorrow as well. Let's look at that. Okay. Love you. I love grants. I hope you will fall in love with grants as well. And I will see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. for another session of Good Morning Grant Lovers live show. Bye, everybody. Have a lovely day.